2, 1.
7 things you probably didn't know you need to know. I'm Jamie East, and this is the Smart 7.
Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, the 9th of November, and it's World Freedom Day. And a big happy birthday to Cisco, Lou Ferrigno, Delta Goodrum, and Tony Slattery.
7.
Monday saw MPs meet in the House of Commons to debate the row that ignited over parliamentary standards following the investigation into now former Tory MP Owen Paterson. Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer was back at the dispatch box and fired up over Boris and his pals' behaviour.
When the Prime Minister gives the green light to corruption, he corrodes that trust. When he says that the rules to stop vested interests don't apply to his friends, he corrodes that trust. And when he deliberately undermines those charged with stopping corruption, he corrodes that trust.
But wait, where was Boris? Oh, I see, he had an important appointment in Hexham, about 300 miles to the north, visiting an NHS diagnostic centre. Right.
I'm here to look at what we're doing to encourage people to get their booster jabs, and that is the single most important thing I think the government can do at the present time.
Even though he wasn't at the debate, he also wasn't apologising, arguing instead that he was trying to reform the system.
I think it's very important that we get this right, and we are going to hold MPs to account.
Keir Starmer wasn't overly impressed by the urgent Hexham visit.
Rather than repairing the damage that he's done, the Prime Minister is running scared. When required to lead, he's chosen to hide.
COP26 is well into its second week, but there's a real concern that not enough is being done. Climate activist Vanessa Nakati says she's not really optimistic that any of the billion-dollar pledges will be delivered on, much like what happened after the Paris Climate Summit.
The $100 billion that was promised by the leaders, including President Obama, has not yet been delivered. It has been delayed to 2023, which is unfair to communities that are on the front lines of the climate crisis.
The man who signed those 2016 pledges for the US, Barack Obama, was speaking at COP26 on Monday, and he says that countries have failed to meet their promises.
We are nowhere near where we need to be yet. For starters, despite the progress that Paris represented, most countries have failed to meet the action plans that they set 6 years ago.
Now he's calling on the wealthy nations to take responsibility, change their ways and help those most affected by the climate crisis.
All of us have sacrifices to make, but those of us who live in wealthy nations, those of us who help to precipitate the problem, we have an added burden to make sure that we are working with and helping and assisting those who are less responsible and less able, but are more vulnerable to this oncoming crisis.
There were 32,322 new cases of COVID-19 yesterday and 57 additional deaths. There were some hopeful signs that the end of the pandemic may be getting closer as the US finally reopened its borders to UK travellers after almost 2 years. This excited couple couldn't wait to get on the plane at Heathrow.
We had this booked and we've had to move it a couple of times. When we heard it was opening on the 8th, we said, right, put it on the 8th. We rang Virgin straight up and said, put us on the 8th, first flight there.
And in a slightly dramatic reopening gesture, British Airways and Virgin Atlantic managed to synchronise takeoff of the first 2 flights to the US on Monday morning. Virgin Atlantic CEO Shai Weiss says it's not just showing off, there was a green message in there too.
The competition will not be who gets there the quickest, but rather who gets there on time with the most efficient use of fuel.
The weekend saw a tragic event in the US at a festival called Astroworld. It took place in Houston, Texas, and was set up as an annual event by American rapper Travis Scott. At least 8 people were killed in a crush that started just minutes after he began his performance. There have already been more than a dozen legal actions filed, and Scott has pledged to pay for the funerals of those killed and assist the victims' families.
I just want to send out prayers to the ones that was lost last night. We're actually working right now to identify the families so we can help assist them through this tough time. I'm honestly just devastated, and I could never imagine anything like this just happening.
Still to come on the Smart 7, Yorkshire cricket makes a fresh start and Ed Sheeran's getting strange gifts. Right after this.
You're listening to the Smart 7. If you're enjoying it, you might also like the Smart 7 Ireland edition. Just search and follow us on your favourite podcast platform. The new chairman of Yorkshire County Cricket Club, Lord Kamlesh Patel, held a press conference yesterday to clear the air after a year-long row about racism at the club. He announced a settlement with former player Azim Rafiq and praised him as a whistleblower, saying he should never have been put through what went on.
Racism or any form of discrimination is not banter. I thank Azim Rafiq for his bravery in speaking out. We're sorry for what you and your family experienced and the way in which we've handled this. What happened to you must never happen again to anyone.
Ed Sheeran's been busy since he got out of COVID isolation. He popped up on Jonathan Ross's show on ITV on Saturday night and was chatting about some of the remarkable gifts he's received from his fans over the years, including a delicious-sounding cake.
I cut into this cake to eat it, and as I pulled it out, it was just this big clump of hair that kind of went like that. And I was kind of like, I have a feeling that this girl kind of wanted me to eat the cake, so next time she saw me, she could kind of be like, I'm inside you.
It's not due to hit Netflix until 2022, although alarmingly 2022 is only a little over 50 days away. Anyway, it's Stranger Things Series 4. The gang are all back together, Finn Wolfhard, Millie Bobby Brown, Winona Ryder and more as the sci-fi horror drama hit gets geared up for a possible 9 more episodes, this time in California.
Dear Mike, today is day 185. I think I have finally adapted. I even like school now. I have made lots of friends. Even so, I am ready for spring break. Mostly because I get to see you. We will have the best spring break ever.
This has been The Smart 7. Wherever you're listening, do us a favour and hit the follow button. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Have a great day.
Written, produced and published by Daft Doris.